Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here to show you the subscription card kit from Stampin' Up called Paper Pumpkin, and this is for March 2018, and it is their 5-year anniversary with this subscription kit, so that is awesome. And this is a packed kit. So let's start digging in. So I couldn't find any paper. Yeah, I know. So I grabbed a white napkin, and this is the stamp set. There's some beautiful sentiments, some nice flourish, and some nice florals. You also got this extra wooden die cuts. Of course, you get your Stampin' Spot in Early Espresso. And now we have our kit. And this kit is huge. You can actually make, I believe, 16 items with this kit. And there's a little bit of a mixture. There's a couple different cards. There's a couple different envelopes that you can put goodies in. And I really like the feel of the design when it comes to the papers. So of course you get your instructions, which, yeah, I'm not that great following it. A huge sheet of dimensionals, yay. You get these card panels, and the roses that are etched on that are absolutely beautiful. There is no texture there. You also got these plain ones, and they're in like a mauve shade. This is one of the envelopes, and you can see that we'll be putting that together. So these are already pre-made, and you got 2 designs, 4 of each. Is that not gorgeous? That rose, it's just beautiful. These are your card bases. You get 4 in tan, and then you're also going to get 4 in a beautiful deep burgundy. These do measure 3.5 by 5. You have, as always, some die cuts, and they're very detailed. I mean, there's not much you need to do with them, and you do get 4 sheets because both the designs are on that. You get some sticker strips, which are very thick, and then some fancy flourish die cuts. You get some brads, because those are for the envelopes, so that you can create the closures. You get some beautiful twine. This is, I believe, they're linen twine. And it's really nice to work with. Some pearls. And then some beautiful ribbon that matches the deep burgundy of the cardstock. So these are the items that it comes with. As I said, this kit was really, really jam-packed. Now again, if you are a first-time subscriber, you will receive acrylic block free. If you're looking to subscribe to this, I will have the link to my contact below. So I do encourage you to reach out to Wendy. She is an excellent demonstrator, and she will help you with any questions that you may have. Again, I no longer am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, so just a friendly little reminder. But I'll make sure you have her information. So let's get started on the projects. So we're actually, when it comes to the kit, you're making 4 different designs. So this is the first one. And I'm actually going to get all the stamping done. So the first item that I'm going to stamp, it's going to say, "May good things grow all year, long." And that's going to go on one of those really pretty flourish sentiment bases, let's call it. I grabbed the flourish from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in each of the corners on the pink cardstock. Since I had my ink cube out and my acrylic blocks, I'm going to stamp the other sentiments as well. The hello, happy birthday, and when a beautiful, friendship we've grown. Or what a beautiful friendship we've grown. So what I've done now, the next thing to do was to take the ribbon, 2 pieces equal length, and cut them both on a diagonal. Because actually you're going to put these 2 next to each other so that you're going to create a large banner that's fishtailed on each side. And I'm just using my tape runner to put the ribbon down. The ribbon adheres very well with the tape runner. On the other card design panel where the roses are drawn on, I'm using 2 of the strip stickers. And they are in yellow and pink, and then I'm just going to trim off the edges. So they're actually placed along the bottom. I'm going to set in place my first sentiment over the ribbon. And I'm going to grab the flowers that they call for from the die cuts. And I'm just going to position them around on the left-hand side of my sentiment. I am using my foam squares. I do tend to hoard the dimensionals. I do. So on the next card base, we're grabbing, of course, different die cuts. So we want to get those set in place first. So we're going to set the one with the rosebud pointing up, and then there's another set of leaves that are going to point down. And I'm okay with it overhanging with the card design base. It also will hang over a little bit on the card base as well, but you guys know me. I'm okay with that. To me, I think it adds something to the card when it's hanging over the edge. Now, if it's out of way, I will trim it. I grabbed the other sentiment, the long one with the 2 holes on each side, and I'm stringing the twine through them. So it's going to run behind. I'm going to pull it around to the other side and tie a bow on that side of the sentiment to the left. And you know me, I have to tie my bows upside down. And then we'll get that set in place. So this didn't go too bad. I actually tied a bow pretty quickly. I know, amazing. I'm just going to trim off those edges. And now I'm putting my tape runner on the back, and we're going to set them down on their card bases. So as you can see, the pink went on the brown, and then the tan went on the maroon. So on to these pockets. Now these are very quick. So the first one, again, you're just going to grab a piece of your ribbon. You're going to fishtail the ends of it. We're going to grab the hello sentiment, prop that up with some foam squares, and we're going to shove the ribbon so that you see the fishtails on each side. That's all the embellishments that they call for when it comes to the front. So they also give you, with the die cuts, the little tiny round hole protectors. So you're going to put your brads through both of them, open them up, and then the brad is what's going to hold the hole protector there. So you just got to make sure you can get your hand in there. Open the brad up a little bit before you put it in on the bottom. It'll be easier for you to separate the brad apart so that we can flatten it. And then you're just going to cut whatever length you're looking for of the twine that they provide so that you can create the closure. Now you can tie this around the brad like I'm doing here, or you can also tie it in behind, you know, the same way that I'm doing it here, or you could put it behind the hole protector. Either way is fine. I just chose to put it behind the brad, and then again, you'll just, however you would want to wrap that around, as I'm doing here, that's how you will close your envelope. And that's the first pocket there. So for the second pocket, it's almost just as quick. You're just using a bigger die cut to put on the top. I used a lot of foam tape on this. And I'm going to prop that right up onto the envelope. Again, a piece of the ribbon that's fishtailed. And we're going to set that kind of just a little bit from the, or about a third of the way up. You know, just below half maybe, you know. You never want to put it directly in the center. And then we're going to take our sentiment, happy birthday, and we're going to prop that up with some fun foam squares as well. I still can't talk. Foam squares as well, and put that on top of the ribbon. And then we're going to do the same thing for the closure on the back. So those are our 2 pockets. So I think these creations were really pretty, and you can make 4 of each of these. You have enough materials to make 4 of each. That's 16 items. That's awesome. So now let's work with the alternative. You know I always make at least one alternative. So I decided to pull the leaf stamp from the set, and I'm going to stamp that just a bunch of times. I was not sure how many times I was going to need it. So I used my Memento ink because I am going to use my alcohol markers from Stampin' Up. I do really like them. I am so hoping they come out with more colors. That would be absolutely phenomenal. I would absolutely love it. So I keep sending them emails. I do. So I'm going to use the same sentiment as before, make good things grow all year long. And I'm going to be using the Old Olive set, the light and the dark. That's the beauty of those markers. Light, dark. You can't go wrong with it. And I'm putting down my light shade first, and then I'm going to come in with my darker shade. I'm not going to show all of the coloring just because the video is kind of long now. I do try to keep them short, but I do want to make sure that you guys have some tips and tricks that I have found along the way. So you can see I fussy cut them. They're off to the side. Yes, I'm going to cut into one of these pockets because I have to have that rose. And it's funny, while I was cutting this, who knew we had a design on that? I didn't realize it. I wasn't taking notice as I was flipping the cards down to close them. So that was exciting for me. So you can see I fussy cut the roses and the rosebud. And I'm going to be using the Early Espresso, and I'm going to ink around the edges. It's just like me using Vintage Photo, but this time I'm going to use what's in the kit. I'm going to prop the large rose up with some foam squares, and I want to place it. It is the exact image that's down on that design base. So I want it to sit the same way. I'm going to use my liquid glue. I do use art glitter glue to put the rosebud just above it. And now I'm going to place some of the greens around. Again, just to give it some dimension and just to make that main full bloom rose pop just a little bit more. I'm going to place my sentiment in place. I am having it hang off to the left. And this is when I started looking at this paper and realized I had to have this scallop that was coming off of it. So I just trimmed that down to be almost the same size of what my design base is. And we're going to glue that in place. So it's like we're making a tag, but we're not. So, they gotta be a little different. So again, I'm going to go back and just put a few more greens in there. I did end up using all 5 of those that I stamped and colored. I thought they really added something to it. I grabbed one of the maroon card bases, and yes, I cut that up as well, because I want this card tag to have just a little bit of a background, and that size of the card was perfect for that. I did grab a card base from my stash. It is the Nina Desert Storm, but I also first wanted to cut a piece of ribbon. I tied a bow. Yeah, this went pretty quick. Absolutely. I was very impressed with myself. You guys, I think, are giving me the encouragement to keep going with my bows. I'm going to trim off the edges, and that bow is going to go over where the hole is in that scalloped piece that I cut from the pocket. And I am going to use one of my glue dots for that. And you can see it's going through the hole, which is awesome. I'm going to use my glue to directly adhere this down onto my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, now a side folding card, just to secure that in place. And that's our alternative project. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There's so much more that's coming out for the year of 2018. If you have any questions or comments, I really do encourage you, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It can be a comment. It could be a question on how something works. If it's quick and simple, I'll make sure I answer it. If it's not that quick and simple, you never know. You may just see it in a video. My objective here is to get you all moving in your craft rooms or get started in a new hobby. Be creative, Keep going with it and don't get frustrated with it. This is to relax you. We're to have fun. If you're interested in this subscription, I will leave links below to my contact named Wendy. She is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and that's who I go through now. Remember, I am no longer one of the demonstrators. So please, I encourage you to contact her with any questions you may have. She will be more than happy to help you with this or any other Stampin' Up! Products. Remember, everyone, always be creative.